Namaste, good morning, everyone. Well, now that I got the nefarious drama out of the way, uh, yesterday I got a comment, and they're asking questions. So, like I said, if you have a question, send it in, and I will see about doing a video on it. Well, this one is 21 questions. 20. A question. 21 questions. So what I have to say to this seeker is, what in the world is your mind churning on all of these questions for? Okay? What good is it going to do ultimately for me to give you an answer to them? Now, what I usually tell people, and what I've always said, is if you believe what I'm giving, then do the practices and get to realization. If you don't believe me, I still say do the practices and find out for yourself. Okay? Everything will be made clear upon the way. Okay? All these things you'll find out in the end. Okay? So, with so many questions, clearly your mind is churning and churning and churning and churning on all of this stuff. And really, in the end, is to cut through all the divisionary. Every question you're asking is divisionary, divisionary, divisionary. Everything that's just going to keep the mind in a spin. Okay? And again, even getting an answer to it, what is it going to change with you in the end? It's just more fodder for the mind. Okay? 21 questions. Okay, so let's see if we can go through some of this. It's just, Lord. Yeah, again, watch the video and start the practices and start stilling the mind and sitting with stuff rather than chasing all of these types of superfluous questionings and dramas, because in the end, these things you have to find out for yourself. What's the truth of it or the error of it? And the only way to do that is to confront it in your own life and have that direct experience. Because it doesn't matter what I say, what I don't say, eventually you have to find out for yourself, okay? So, thank you for all the questions, but, really try to drop so many questions and questionings, because in the end, really, they don't have much to do with your spiritual progression in your own life. And that's what really matters, for you to get to realization, rather than having a bunch of collected information about Divided Realm happenings. Okay? Okay, so let's get started on this. What's the difference between an avatar, an avadut, siddha, and an enlightened master? Okay, an avatar is supposed to be one that is like a Krishna or a Shiva that has returned to earth. And they're playing out whatever it is that they're doing, okay? That's an avatar. Okay. An avadut. An avadut is one that they're manifesting a lot of cities, a lot of things. Usually they're supposed to be enlightened, but they're just kind of really off the wall. they'll do a lot of very strange things, a lot of unusual cities, things can happen around them. Like Nityananda, there was the Avadut, Nityananda, not Nityananda, not that one, okay? There was an Avadut named Nityananda, okay? He would like bilocate. I mean, all sorts of unusual activities would happen around him, okay? He consciously left his body. I've spoken about this before. He said, I have no genuine seekers. There are no genuine seekers. Okay. He got very disgusted with humanity. They would come, and he had he had aides around him. You know, people would come and ask questions, and you know, he wasn't speaking English. So he would tell his aides, when these people came and they were just being annoying, he'd say, and this is his genuine language, tell the sister fuckers to leave me alone. That's exactly what he said. Tell the sister fuckers to go away. Because nobody was there for genuine spiritual knowledge, to have a genuine spiritual path. Like I said, Muktananda was one that was following him, and he told Muktananda to go away. He told Muktananda, go out there and do your practice. Okay? So that's an Avadut. A Siddha is one that has developed all these cities. A Siddha master, somebody that's doing a lot of cities, a lot of things in the Dvaita realm. That's a Siddha. Okay. An enlightened master is one that's gone beyond all the cities, all the dramas. One that's broken through and rests in realization, in moksha, in that stillness. Turiyatata, Sahaj Nirvikalpa. They remain there effortlessly. They no longer have a mind that's churning in Dvaita realm. Okay, their mind is still. That's an enlightened master. Okay. Okay. Number 2, are there chakras beyond Sahasrara and the 7th chakra? And if so, what are their significance? Okay. On this path, I don't even get into chakras. Again, you try to get into chakras and you say it's located here, it's located there. People get bodies centered. They're trying to see these wheels spinning and the colors and all the drama concerning chakras. Well, you're barking up a wrong tree with that. Okay. Actually, the chakras and all of that are levels and layers of consciousness to go through, whether it's fight and flight, or whether it's whatever one speaks, or knowledge, or, you know, all of these are levels and layers of consciousness. So don't worry about if there are chakras here, or chakras up here, or chakras. Forget the chakras. Okay? When you're doing the meditation, you'll go through levels and layers of consciousness. And eventually, the most important thing is to break through all the levels and layers of consciousness to get to what is prior to intellect, like intellect without knowledge. What's beyond that? That primordial is, that absolute potential, okay? That light beyond lights, that's where you want to get to. Quit focusing on body, chakras, this and that drama. Because all you're going to do is just get yourself tangled up. Okay? Okay, 3. Are there lokas like Devloka, Nagloka real? If you are focusing on that, they can appear very real. Okay? All of these are constructed by consciousness. So if that's what you are attached to, and that is your belief system, like I said, if you are in a relationship with Krishna and you pass, you will go to Krishna Lok for a time. Okay, and you'll play that out until you've used up all your karma for that, and then you will go back into form again and continue on your journey. So yes, these can appear real, just as, the dream that you're in now appears very real. If you have a dream at night, it can seem very real sometimes. And you wake up and go, oh, it was only a dream. But in that moment, it can seem extremely real, especially if you get to lucid dreaming. Okay, those experiences will be very real to you, seem very real in the moment. And all these are coming out of a movement of mind, consciousness, quantum, okay, quantum type of things. Okay, let's continue on. Can an enlightened Advaitic master willingly take rebirth if he chooses to? Haven't been there yet. Can't tell you. But the assumption is what's been said is yes, that they can. Okay? But since I haven't been to that as yet and had that experience or not, I cannot say with 100% accuracy. I can only tell you what has been reported within the texts concerning that. Okay? And it is said that yes, they can. Now, I could see where that would happen if you are a guru and you have serious students. Many times what will happen, you will reincarnate with those students and continue to aid them in their paths, or try to continue to aid them from the other side, in their journeys, okay? Because there is that energetic connection that takes place, okay? So let's continue forward. Can an enlightened master leave his body at will? All I can say is that in this journey there have been a couple of times that I've known at that point that I could have left the body, but I chose to stay to continue to work with students, etc. Now, there are some, like my guru's father was enlightened, and he chose to leave the body. What my guru has told me, that he and his brothers, his father said, submerge me in the Ganges. And he was still living. And they're going, what? His father was enlightened. And he told, no, submerge me in the Ganges now. I want to go. That's it. I'm done. And they said by the time they got to his head to submerge him, he had left the form. So he had chosen to leave the form, and he did leave the form, okay, at that point in time. So, yes, it has been known that some have left the form of their own accord, okay. Let's continue forward. Are all distracting cities and abilities, like being present at two places, being able to survive without food and water, lost after one enters self-realization? Well, those things are no longer needed. For what? Okay, forms come, forms go. One is that ever-present living truth. One's not seeking for any of those divisionary experiences any longer. For what? When one knows that the life of all life and the death of all death, why would there be seeking of any of those things? They don't come up because it's no longer in consciousness. One's no longer having doubts or looking for something or needing to have some kind of a protectionary thing or whatever it is in place. One does not seek those types of cities. Okay? Falls away. It's not needed. It's not wanted. It's not, it's of the divisionary realm. Okay? And the mind, the consciousness is in Advaita. Okay? So the Advaita is, it's primary. It's paramount. That's what remains. Okay, let's continue forward. Do all seekers and enlightened masters develop cities? And are obstacles in spiritual path different for everyone? Well, yeah, whatever experiences you've collected over your lifetimes of seeking, and usually, again, on the path to realization, it's not done in one lifetime. It takes many lifetimes of seeking to continue to break through. Okay? So everyone has developed different experiences along the way. So of course the obstacles are going to be different. The things that you've got in your mind that you need to confront and look at is different than what somebody else's experiences have been. They have different challenges. Overall, one has similar type of things, but specifics are going to be different person to person. As far as the cities, I think different things will emerge for different people, depending on what your focus has been, your interests have been, etc., etc. Okay? For here, some of the cities that arose, were being able to control weather, healing, absolutely feeling what was going on in another person's form. Just a lot of different things, miraculous things would take place. So, yeah, I think it's different for different people. Okay. Like I said, one moment in the body, you're out of the body, seeing above the trees, just a lot of different things take place. But again, these are not something that one clings to. They are just experiences along the way. They are not the ultimate. They are not something to sit there and try to cultivate. Okay? It comes, and then be willing to let it go. Because that's not what's important. What is important is to cut through to realization. Okay. Let's go forward. Why some people don't show interest in spirituality, and some are extremely drawn to the ultimate truth. Okay, I'll leave the second part of that question. There's another part to it for our next question. Because, again, everybody's got different experiences. Usually people start looking for the spiritual path when they've gone through a lot of great suffering, dark nights of the soul. At that point, they're ready to do anything to get out of Dvaita realm. Those people that are cushy, having great experiences in Dvaita, okay, they're happy with that life. Why would they want to cut through? Okay? Unless they've been very severely unhappy with the life, they've had a lot of trauma, a lot of things in there, or they have this really heart-centered thing to know God, to know truth. Okay? Not everyone is looking for God and looking for truth. They are wrapped up in ego. Me. They have no time. They don't care. But if you are God-centered, you want to know God. What is God? Is God, what is the truth of it? That will draw one into, again, like in my case, I had a lot of very traumatic things in my life. And also, on top of that, I was sincerely seeking God. I wanted to know the truth. What is the truth? What is God? Who is God? What is God? What is, So that's what pulled me along and into these, going deeper and deeper into these meditation and into, the negating of not this, not this, not this. Okay. So who can say why? Some, because they've had different experiences and they're at that point ready to move forward. Okay. Not everybody's ready in the same time. Okay. Let me see. Is everything predestined by God? No, you have free will. Okay? If everything were predestined by God, there would be no free will. Free will is what caused the fall. If you remember the story in the Bible, what happened? Adam and Eve, they're in the Garden of Eden. All they knew was good. Everything they had was good. But here comes the serpent. And he says, God says, well, you can do everything, but don't eat of the tree of knowledge. Stay innocent. Stay. You have everything. Stay innocent. Okay? But what happened? They ate of the fruit of the tree of knowledge, and they knew they were naked, and they went and hid themselves. So they chose to know good from evil. They wanted to know. They wanted knowledge. So because they wanted knowledge and this experience, they fell from that heavenlies, from that absolute interconnection with God, into ego form and divider realm. And it was also stated this is why the life was limited. Okay, otherwise there would be no salvation. So that's why this body form was constructed, one that comes and goes, so that one can have experiences, but if you totally blow it, you'll get to have another chance of it, okay, with another form to go on for other experience, okay. So that's just a quick overview of that. You could go into a lot more of that, what happened with that. But that's, again, what happened with they quote, the fall. Okay. Same thing with Satan. Satan in the beginning wasn't evil. There was no evil created. Evil was not created. Evil became evil because it pulled away from the light. Satan was the head of the heavenly choirs. He was the choir master, okay? That's why he's so attached to music, in many ways. Some of the music is destructive, okay? Very egocentric, ego-centered. And this is what happened with Satan. He didn't want to give the expression and the worship to God. He congealed into ego form and wanted it all for himself. So that's what became evil. Same thing in the Chandipat. Again, the story of Chandipat will tell you about the way of the spiritual path and what these energies of Kali and Durga are there to do, to break through all these illusions. And the biggest illusion, the biggest delusion, the biggest demonic entity, so to speak, is ego. Okay? That's the biggest construct that holds one away from that light. Ego. So the more egocentric one is, the further away from the light they are. Okay. So this, I will never get through these if I don't move forward. So let me move forward out of this. You see where we at? Okay, number 9 are things like Reiki, shamanism, crystal healing, pranic healing, tarot, bad things. Okay, not necessarily. It's not necessarily bad. It's what your attachment is to it. Okay, all of these things have to do with Divida, divisionary experience. Okay, that's all. They have to do with divisionary experience. I say don't go for pranic healing or Reiki. The Reiki and these things can open you up, can awaken Kundalini. Okay, if you have somebody working on you with Reiki and they're not an enlightened master, their mind spin is going to be behind whatever is being worked on. Okay, that is going to be interfering with whatever is going on. So I say don't have that. Especially if you're in a Kundalini awakening. It can really throw you off balance. Okay, so please stay away from the Reiki and things. It's, yeah. Okay. Let's go forward. Is astrology a fake scam or genuine science? No, I haven't studied astrology. Can't tell you too much about it. When somebody is born, what their path is, what kind of things. Now, yeah, the moon will influence a form. That's for sure. It influences the tides of the sea, and we're 90% water, so yes, it will have some effect on us. So, possibly, yes, some of these things can have some effect. To what degree, I cannot say, because I have not studied astrology, I have not studied charts, I have not studied people's paths according to it. So, sorry. That's the best I can give you. I'm not going to make something up, If I know about it, I'll tell you. If not, okay, that's where I have to leave that. Do planets have an effect on us? Well, I just answered part of that. For sure, the moon does. And of course, gravity does. Okay, and so who can say? To some degree, but to what degree, I cannot totally say. But yes, I know for sure the moon, some people get really crazy with the moon stuff when it becomes a full moon. I happen to enjoy the full moon, but some people get a little crazy with the full moon because, again, the body is 90% water. And just as the moon affects the high tides, low tides, and the oceanic things, the water, it can affect the form. Okay. Number 12, what are the planes of an existence, and is there a spirit world? Yes, there's a spirit world. There are many planes of existence, as many as the mind can construct. This is why I say don't do third eye meditations. It's astral realms. Astral realms, planes of existence. Okay? Many, many planes of existence, many, many realms. Okay? But again, why to get stuck on those types of things? Go to realization. That's the only thing that's freeing. That's the only thing that brings moksha and liberation is realization and cutting through all that drama. Okay? Are astral realms false imaginations of the mind? It's quantum, okay? Have you heard about quantum? Quantum are constructs made because of the consciousness and where it's directed, okay? Just like your mind creates these dreams at night, the consciousness creates dreams, okay? Quantum. 14. Kundalini takes one to completion when one learns under the guidance of self-realized gurus like you. But rare examples like Ramana Maharishi didn't have a guru. So is it possible the awakening of Kundalini and moment of enlightenment coincide? Can enlightenment rarely happen without a guru? If yes, why so? People do. Like I said, this takes lifetimes. Ramana came in ripe. How do you know he didn't have Kundalini awakening? Okay? He had Kundalini awakening. Okay? So, again, everyone is at a different level. When you come back into form, you start where you left off. You continue forward in your journey. If somebody's very ripe, it can take very little to tip them over the edge to realization. But you have to be ripe. Okay? Okay. 15. Why some people get sudden enlightenment and others gradually proceed? Well, there is no sudden enlightenment. That sudden enlightenment comes after years and years and years and years. Okay? One gradually does the path, breaks away, but they always say, and it's always said, that moment of enlightenment happens in an instant. But it takes years and lifetimes to get to that instant of immediate enlightenment. Okay? It's kind of like somebody that's in entertainment. They'll be slogging around for years and years and years, and then their overnight sensation. Well, that overnight sensation came after years and years and years and years of hard work. Okay? So it's something sort of like that. Okay. Yes, it's gradual, but enlightenment itself is sudden. Everything deconstructs in an instant. But again, it's taken years and lifetimes to get to that instant. Okay. 16. Can human souls take rebirth as animals? Sure, why not? Consciousness is consciousness. Okay? That's all one can say. Consciousness is consciousness. Number 17. Ramana Maharishi gave enlightenment to a cow. Is enlightenment possible for animals? Since he gave enlightenment to a cow, I would say absolutely yes. Okay? I had a little dog, Sri Radhe, and Sri Radhe, you would see her absolutely go into these spontaneous meditations, and she'd just be gone. So yes, it's possible. Okay? Yes, it's possible. Are the number of souls on planets constant, or the number changes? I can't tell you that. I'm sorry. I haven't taken a head count. But everything is eternal, but again, forms come and forms go. So who can say? There are so many planets, so many different layers, so many it's endless. And that eternal is endless. Okay? So again, sorry, can't tell you. And again, a question like this, what has it to do with your spiritual progress? What is it going to help you in the end? It's just a bunch of fodder and more collected garbage for the mind to spin on. It's not going to aid you in any way, whichever way that question would turn out. Okay. Let's continue forward. Sattvic, generous, loving people more likely to get enlightened. How is morality and spiritual growth related? Well, really? If you're doing dark, nefarious things, Where are you? Not to truth. Okay? You're lost in divided stuff. So how is that going to translate out to realization? If you're following these dark things and you're not clean within yourself, okay, how is that going to deconstruct? Think about it. Like I said, if you're going towards realization, just like that assertion today of dark sex tantric nonsense, I've always said, if you're going towards realization, be celibate. Why? Because if you're not, your focus is externalized. To enter realization, your focus has to be internalized. You have to let go of this world for a time. You have to let go of it. You have to cut those bonds. Okay? You're not going to have time to go around doing immoral things if your total focus is on entering realization. Okay? If that's where your focus is, then it's externalized. You're not going to get there. So that's the way it is. Okay? 20. Does an enlightened master get angry, feel sad, and experience normal human emotions? Yes, of course they do, but they're momentary. Okay? There's nothing that clings, that stays. But yes, one can have that emotional thing, and it's a pure emotion. It's not cut with any other drama going around about it. So yes, there can be feelings of emotion, of course. Okay, can an enlightened being lose enlightenment if he does bad deeds? Is he subject to the law? Of course that's subject to the law of karma. But usually what will take place when enlightenment takes place, if someone is going to be doing these karmic deeds, they reroute right away. They'll have an experience of it, but it's not going to remain. Okay? They will reroute because their focus is externalized. Okay? The focus is externalized. Therefore, it becomes a experience. Okay? So this is what causes the fall of some that maybe have had a quick glimpse and they can speak of it, but they have gone into ego and become very egocentric and tried to wrap enlightenment around an ego, around the divisionary experience. And then the fall is very great. That's the ones that you can find that will go and say, oh, there's no karma and this and that. Nonsense. Maybe they've had a little taste of something. Okay? But you can't call it true enlightenment because true enlightenment is unchanging. Okay? If someone has a taste of something and then they reroute, then you can't really say they were truly enlightened. Because once enlightenment takes place, it's secure, it's not changing. One has no desire that rises to do any of these type of nefarious things. It just doesn't show up. Okay? You cannot hate somebody when one is in enlightenment. There can be a discussion, be disgusted by someone's actions, but you cannot hate, no matter what it is. That type of an emotional thing does not come up. It just is not there any longer in one's consciousness. It's not possible to be there. So while there are some emotional things that are there, there are some things that are just, like I said, hate is impossible to be there. You could be angry, disgusted with something, but you cannot hate. Okay? Because one knows everything that's in this existence comes from that ultimate truth. And those that are doing these heinous things are in a hell realm. Okay? And they're in ignorance. They're in absolute ignorance and in a hell realm. Okay? So when one gets to enlightenment, one wants to see everyone to progress. Okay? So to see when somebody, that is doing these nefarious things, their mind is cranking on it. They can't get out of it. They are in a hell realm of their own making. And they will remain there until they begin the path and begin to step forward and come out of that egoic drama. Okay? So no matter, again, how heinous they are, there is a difference. One does not hate. Okay. So we will leave this here. This is going to take me a full day, I'm sure, to get this uploaded. It may not be there till this evening because things here are a bit slow and this is a long video. But all of your answers, I hope that stills your mind for a while and you can go forward and actually do your practices and quit churning on this stuff. Because again, any of these answers are really, what are they going to help you to break through in your own life to move forward? Okay? So we will leave this. Namaste. Have a great day every day. And I'm going back to drink my bulletproof coffee, which is now cold. Have a good day. Namaste. Bye, everyone.